It's just not the type of world I wanted my baby to be born into. I'm just so scared. I'm scared of absolutely everything. I'm scared if I get it, my husband gets it, and what if I pass it on to the baby?
Lauren is preparing to bring her new child into the world in just over 6 weeks' time, but she never imagined giving birth in the midst of a pandemic.
When things ramped up, I actually remember sitting in my in-laws' house, and that's when the Prime Minister had announced that, there's new vulnerable categories and pregnant women were in one of them, and it really hit me then that there's more risks now for our wee baby, and for me it suddenly became very real then.
From 28 weeks, pregnant women are in the vulnerable category under current COVID-19 guidance.
I've been struggling a lot with anxiety this week. Sleepless nights, lots of crying, and my husband thought it might be a good time to go and have a wee bit of a check-up.
Like every expectant mother, Lauren just wants her baby to arrive safe and well.
I've just been for our private scan and I feel so much better. The baby is absolutely fine, unlike what horrible things were in my head.
I think once I have them in my arms, I'll feel like made it, got through it, and we can just stay here and I'll be fine with that, as long as they're safe.
Antenatal, birth and postnatal care has had to transform over the last few months in order to protect everyone, but expert advice for pregnant women is encouraging.
I think one of the main things that we can do to support women and to reassure women is that all of the evidence that's out there at the moment suggests that COVID infection is no worse in pregnant women than it is in anybody else. We've just reviewed 450 women, and as far as we can see, looking at the analysis of all of those figures, it does not seem that COVID infection is any worse in pregnant women than it is in anybody else. Certainly, some pregnant women have become very ill, and some have even died, sadly. But it does not seem to be any more likely than anybody else. When you watch the news every night, it's terrifying because you're looking at the number of deaths. What you must remember is that there's a huge number of people who have very mild COVID infection or perhaps even no symptoms at all. And many, many people are getting this infection without having any serious consequences whatsoever.
Hello everybody. Right, welcome to your antenatal class.
With routine face-to-face appointments being reduced and people being deprived of normal social networks, many couples are now going online for advice.
I'm going to start with a question and answer session.
Louise Broadbridge is a midwife taking virtual antenatal classes.
In these last few weeks, what we want is for your baby to get into this really curled up position like this.
She's offering 3 free classes a week with over 100 couples taking part in each session.
Initially, it was just a case of let's just, we're going to have to stop doing anything. And then I got loads of requests via my Instagram saying, is there any chance anybody can do anything? I'm really struggling, really upset, understandably, because, it's a worrying time if you can't get your antenatal classes. So I just said, oh, do you know what? On Saturday morning, I'll do a free 2-hour session. Well, it just went mad, absolutely mad. I just love it. It's been such a lovely way to be in lockdown.
Millions of babies worldwide are being born under the shadow of COVID-19, a virus that's recasting motherhood.
I went through a phase of not feeling like a mum because it's the most unnatural thing in the world, not having your baby.
While the rest of us were adjusting to the new normal, Gemma went into labour at 26 weeks, 14 weeks early. Her mum delivered her son on her living room floor in 12 minutes. Baby Finlay arrived just before the paramedics.
My mum had the duvet on the floor and towels everywhere, and the paramedics on the phone had spoke my mum through what to do, and she was so calm. And I didn't want to push because I thought if I pushed he wouldn't make it. So, sorry.
The early days of Finlay's life have not been how his parents imagined them, with Finlay being in hospital since he was born. And official guidance means hospitals must limit the number of visitors and only one parent at a time can be there.
It's really difficult missing the first time he's taken a bottle, or the first time even just like a little smile, or the first time he got his bath, or when he came off his ventilator, and yeah, that's been really, really tough.
It's difficult when he is having a bad day, and quite often I'd be able to calm Gemma down or like put her at ease, saying it'll be okay, whereas if I'm not there then it's a bit harder.
Now, Finlay weighs a healthy £5 after being born at just £1.13. He's been moved to the special baby unit and is hoping to get out of hospital next week so Gemma, Neil and baby Finlay can start their life together at home.
I really struggled at the beginning, but not for long, purely because I just lean on all the nurses every single day. It's literally like the only people that we see. We've been there so long, we were in the same space in intensive care for 8 weeks.
You feel like part of the furniture, after a while.
I was crying leaving, I didn't want to leave.
Many families have put meeting their newest relations on hold. Joanna hasn't yet held her baby granddaughter Maria, who was born on May the 12th.
Just seeing my baby standing there for the first time with her baby, it was just really emotional. It's as hard not being able to cuddle Maria, my granddaughter, as it is not being able to cuddle my daughter and my son-in-law. Yeah, it's just really, really difficult not to touch.
Most postnatal care is now being done over the phone rather than face-to-face appointments, and all birth registrations have been cancelled. But health visitors are doing their best to support new parents.
Having a new baby is a massive transition. I think that the normal situation would be that they would have their family there to support them, and given COVID, it's been very different for families to adjust to. Hi Karen. It's really important for us as health visitors to continue to support these families and maintain that real therapeutic relationship. And definitely sleeping a little bit longer at night, do you think? Yeah.
Despite the challenges the pandemic has created for maternity services, for most new parents like Karen, the birthing experience has been a positive one.
It was quite calm. I had to go in myself at first because of the restrictions, just to be checked over. Then when I was admitted to the labour suite, David was allowed to come in. He was in within half an hour and it was a really calm atmosphere. You wouldn't have really known there was anything major going on.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but in these times, new mums and dads are starting family life very much by themselves.
It's not really how I seen the beginning of my maternity leave. I did hope to be able to get out and about and just do the silly things like going and registering his birth and taking him to see your workmates, going to your baby classes. Sometimes it just gets a bit overwhelming. I think you've just got to think he's okay just now, so you just got to kind of, when you're having a wobble, put it all in perspective.